can't see it yet.
So this is the story of my recent trip to Yala National Park in Sri Lanka. Yala has around 130,000 hectares of protected parkland, with the highest concentration of wild leopards in the entire world. So based on that, we should see leopards all the time, right? The accommodation we chose was very close to the main park entrance and was actually very nice. The rooms were clean, tidy, food was very good, and the staff very friendly and accommodating. So we finally made it to Yala National Park and we're heading out on our first game drive. So this is the largest national park in southern Sri Lanka and has the highest population of leopards in the whole of Sri Lanka as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to see a leopard in the wild, which will be pretty amazing. Chariot that waits. Look at this, absolutely amazing. Cannot wait to get out and see what's going on in Yala National Park. Check out this vehicle. This is all for us. Toyota Hilux, modified for safari. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So it looks like it's had a few scrapes.
Yeah.
The drive was only around 20 minutes from the lodge to the park entrance. The car was modified for safari game drives, it was comfortable and seemed quite safe. Overall though, I felt the visibility from within the vehicle could have been much better, especially for photographers in mind. So we've just stopped off to allow the driver to pay all the park fees and the permits and everything like that, so we can get in and get the vehicle into the park. And quite a lot of other people also going into the park as well, a lot of other tourists here. So yeah, should be quite busy by the looks of it.
Hi, my name's Tanula.
Yeah. You're going to find us a leopard. We try.
Yala is the most visited park in Sri Lanka. Quite early on, I found there to be too many vehicles to actually enjoy the safari experience. I'm not sure if there is a limit to the amount of vehicles the park can accommodate. Our guide mentioned there was around 250 vehicles in the park during our game drive. Anyway, it wasn't long before we came across a large elephant grazing on the main dirt road leading into the park. It seemed quite calm and didn't mind the vehicles passing by. The experience seemed a bit frenetic, with the drivers constantly overtaking and racing each other, probably trying to please their passengers. A few kilometres further into the park, we stumbled across another amazing elephant experience. A small herd was bathing in the lake to the right of us. There was a very small baby elephant amongst the herd. It was very frustrating seeing cars constantly passing us as we were trying to capture the moment. The drivers only really seemed to care about the experience of their own passengers and unfortunately showed almost zero courtesy for other vehicles. This is probably due to the large concentration of safari vehicles in such a small area of the park. However, it was still a great moment to see these animals in their natural environment, despite the lack of courtesy from the other drivers. We waited around for a while as the herd of elephants looked like they were about to move out of the water and onto the land next to us. I think elephant viewings like this are always going to be the highlight of any trip. This was certainly an amazing experience, despite the amount of vehicles all jostling for position for the best view. I was a little surprised the elephants didn't mind the attention, especially with such a young baby. They just carried on grazing by the side of the road.
Best.
July, August best is to see the animal.
Yeah.
But now is a very beautiful time in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah. dry season is over change the monsoon in the September 15.
Okay.
And that times the change the monsoons coming to rain here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's much wetter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only a few weeks ago, the park was actually closed due to severe flooding. You can probably see from the video footage the roads are in very, very bad condition due to flood damage and haven't been repaired very well. With hundreds of safari vehicles going through the main gates every single day, it's a wonder if they will ever be repaired. This had a huge impact on the game drives as we simply couldn't travel very far away from the main gate. This was limiting the potential sightings of leopards, elephants and other animals. Most sightings were of animals we could actually see anywhere in Sri Lanka, such as various species of birds like eagles, storks, herons, peacocks, large mammals such as buffalo, and even elephants and spotted deer can be found outside the national parks. So why are we paying someone to drive us around Yala when we can see all these animals elsewhere? Anyway, the park closes at 6 p.m, so all vehicles have to make their way to the exit in time. This is also really frustrating as sightings of leopards is more likely during sunset.
Cheers. Happy cheers. Cheers.
We're up nice and early for day 2 of our Yala safari. Day 1 was a little disappointing, I have to say. So we're going to go out again nice and early for the morning morning safari drive. So it's about 5 a.m. So we should be in the park by at least 6 a.m. hopefully. So fingers crossed, today is a better experience. Let's see what happens. Aha. We have our little breakfast pack. How good is that? Our chariot awaits. Good morning. We have a roadblock in front of us. Someone's cattle. Way. Oh, and here's the big line of cars ready to go into Yala. Just at the entrance to the park, this is where the driver pays all the park fees and stuff like that, and it's just it's about 5:15 in the morning and there's already a massive lineup of vehicles ready to go into Yala Park. Pretty busy yesterday and it looks like this morning is going to be equally as busy, but hopefully we're not all just driving around the same area and we're going to go to other parts of the park, different areas of the park, and we're not all kind of on top of each other, which kind of ruined yesterday a little bit. Anyway, see what happens. Can't really see me very well, but just here outside the national park in Yala, just waiting to go in. Big lineup of cars and all the drivers standing around chatting. Been here for about 15-20 minutes now. So yeah, hopefully get moving pretty soon.
Ready?
Morning drives can sometimes be a better option as a driver doesn't have any time constraints. He's able to drive deeper into the park. However, the park opens at 6 a.m, so if you don't see a leopard within the first 30 minutes, you're not likely to see one for the rest of the game drive. That probably explains why so many drivers were racing each other to the park gate. The morning drive seemed slightly more relaxed than the evening drive, but because some of the roads were simply unpassable, we couldn't travel that far. This meant we were constantly driving past and overtaking other vehicles. In some instances, it felt like the drivers were actually racing against each other. For most of the drive, we didn't really see anything we couldn't see outside of the park. We then stopped off for a toilet break and ate the food our lodge had prepared for us. The facilities in the park are fine, but just remember to pack your own sort of tissues, hand sanitizer and wipes, as there may not be any soap or running water. It's now around mid-morning and the temperature is rising quite quickly. Around February time, the park can be quite hot and very humid. However, we still had time to see more animals we were able to see outside the park. If you're a bird fanatic, then Yala is a great place to visit. The park is home to over 215 different species. Sightings include this oriental honey buzzard, crested serpent eagle, Brahminy kites, bee-eaters, hornbills, kingfishers, but of course they're birds. You could easily find them anywhere in southern Sri Lanka. We had some more time to kill, so we explored new areas of the park before heading towards the exit and then back to the lodge for lunch. On our way out, we did find this golden jackal eating an egg. That was probably the highlight of the morning drive, I'll have to be honest. We also came across this group of grey langur monkeys. The baby monkeys were kind of playing and falling around, which was kind of fun to watch. But again, nothing really of any real interest during the morning drive. Like I said before, if you don't see a leopard early on, you're probably not likely to see one at all. So just got back from the morning game drive. Unfortunately, no leopard again. But we have another chance later on today as we're going out for an evening game drive, one afternoon evening at 2 p.m. So hopefully third time lucky. Here we are at the Yala Leopard Lodge and we're going out on our third and final game drive, which is an afternoon evening drive. It starts at 2 p.m. and finishes at around 6 p.m. We need to be out of the park by 6 p.m. So fingers crossed we get to see a leopard or something else of interest, because so far it hasn't really been that interesting, I have to say. But hopefully this is third time lucky at Yala National Park. Going out, third and final drive. I mentioned earlier the visibility from within the vehicle wasn't the best, especially if you're actually trying to take good photos. Anyway, back into the park for our final game drive. So it's around 2:30 p.m. It's very, very warm. It's very humid here, but the temperature will drop. Obviously, we're just at the admin office, so we're going in to the main entrance of the park for the final of our 3 game drives. There's supposed to be loads and loads of leopards in this park, and we just haven't seen any yet. We just keep hearing about other people seeing them, and we don't see them. So hopefully we get to see one today. Still quite busy as well. A lot of people going in, so it's a very, very busy time of year. But only 2 weeks ago, this whole place was underwater. They had to close the park. Like any safari, the park is seasonal, and therefore the overall experience can be dependent on several factors, such as wet or dry season and the temperature. This will have a huge impact on animal sightings, especially leopard sightings. I travelled in February, which is considered a good time to visit as it's during the dry season, but the park suffered extreme flooding only a few weeks prior and was clearly still recovering. February to June is considered the better time to visit. I think probably April to June might be more accurate to allow the park to dry out and recover from any flood damage during the wet season. November and December is also considered a good time to visit, as this is generally in between seasonal monsoons. As our evening game drive came to an end, our driver and guide were alerted to a potential leopard sighting.
Somewhere up here on a rock. No, I can't see it yet.
There, it's right there. Yes.
Oh, you went too far.
I got him.
It's gone. We didn't. No, but we didn't. We went too far.
Well, we did. We did. Yeah. So keep looking straight ahead. Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's jeez. Patience. There's trees in the way. So.
Nè, con này Israel đấy, đi Israel gần bên. Rồi máy nó đây điên, ăn lên tới bên.
He's on this side. Yeah. Okay.
Đây con này sudah di bên này. Dapat Israel, banyak. Duduk here.
Stop.
Con đang ăn terang. Ayah bilang itu masukkan ke dalam lagi juga deh.
You got your leopard. You got your Yala leopard. Show me your British excitement now.
Unfortunately for me, the whole experience was slightly ruined by the frantic and boisterous nature of the drivers. Also, overcrowding the park with so many safari vehicles was not helpful for game viewings, even though it didn't really seem to bother the animals too much. I'll give some benefit of doubt, as the park had suffered major flooding recently, which may have impacted our overall experience. So we've made it back to the lodge, and we finally found a leopard right at the end. Just as we're all leaving, there must have been about 50 vehicles all crowded around this poor leopard, and it was kind of perched up onto this rock, or lying on top of this rock. So we finally managed to see one, and yeah, that's it, rounded off 2 days of Yala National Park safari trips.
A whole tray.